Welcome to the video. I'm Jay, and today we will be doing a full guide on artifacts. If you're a new player, a returning player, or maybe you're just curious, guess what? This video will cover it all. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, leave a like, subscribe, because it does help the channel grow, and leave any comments below if it was at all helpful. Let's get right into this. Now let's talk about how to get artifacts. This is the first part of the video. So the first thing you should know is you can receive a few early on through quests. Sometimes the quest will give you these just to get you used to the game, and that is the first way. The next way is, of course, the most common. You're walking in the zone and you just happen to see something glowing off in the distance. You decide to run up, pick it up, and find out it's an artifact. That's right, that is the main way, especially for newer players, you will be finding artifacts. Now, as time goes on, you will discover other ways to find artifacts. So, let's go through that with you. This item here that I have on me, this glorious item, as you can see it, look at it in all its glory. Let me show you what it is. It's a candle short range detector. Now you will receive one of these, and it's for searching for signals. So you can't use this to find artifacts, but you can use it to find signals. So let's head over to the man where you're going to use this to upgrade, and from there you will be able to find way more artifacts. Now the way this tool works is when you hold it up here by right clicking, that little coil in the bottom there will start to glow yellow. Once it glows, you will find yourself a signal. Now, what are in these signals? Let me show you. So this is Spot. You'll find him at all the bases that you go to. Spot has upgrades. So this is the Beluga short-range detector. This is the Bariat short-range detector. Now, these are both used for finding signals, but they are also used for searching for artifacts. As you can see, the range on them is 60 meters, and the range here is 80 meters there for the Bariat. So you definitely want to upgrade them. And what you'll find with the candle here is as you go around certain areas, you will find alpha group trackers and you will find beta group trackers. You will need 25 of each, and when you have 25 of each, you then can come to Spot here, hand it all in, pay 20,000 of these rubles, and boom, there you go. You'll be able to upgrade to the next one, which is the Beluga. And then that's the same for the next one here. So for the Bariat, you'll have to get your alphas, your betas, and your gammas. Now, gammas can only be farmed in the north, so you'll be heading up north and looking for signals out there. Your betas here, these can only be found in the Dead City, the Graveyard, the Path of Fools, and Poloskoi. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And the alpha group trackers, they can only be found in the factory, in the pit, and in the forest. So that is how you upgrade to the next Beluga short range detector. Once you have this, you can then use this to go out and about and of course look for artifacts, and it will be a lot easier when you have one of these in your hands. Now there is actually a fourth detector which I will show you. Now let's talk about the fourth one. It's not really hidden, but some people might not include it because technically you do need to play a lot of the game and you have to level up the battle pass. There are two ways to get it, so we'll go over the battle pass first. So every season you will be given a battle pass. As you see, I haven't really been playing this season. There's nothing on here that I really want. But as you level up the battle pass, you will get cartridges for this specific season. Now each season will have a different name, so it might not be cartridges, it could be something else, but it's all the same principle. Now with those points that you get from the battle pass, you can come over here, go to cases, and there'll always be a battle pass special case. Click on that, unlock it once you have 25,000, and you will have the chance for this, the Elbrus short range detector. Now this has the furthest range in the game at 120 meters, which is insane. It will help you find a lot of artifacts, and from what I know, all the top farmers in Stalzone all use this one because it has the highest range. So the first way is by unboxing it, but let's say for example you don't want to do that, you're not farming that much, maybe like me, you just don't have the will to farm this specific battle pass. So here's what you do. you come over to the auction, and if you have the money, we'll look it up here. Go to auction, go to Elbrus, and let's see. Aha! So yeah, if you have 24, basically 25 million sitting around, there you go. You can buy one for yourself. I'll be honest. Good luck on that. The other thing you can do on, of course, the auction house is buy your artifacts here, so we'll cover that as well, just because we're here. Your artifacts, you can, of course, bid on them, or you can buy them straight up, and there is everything on the auction house, so it is worth it. Big time. I highly recommend, especially early on, maybe just come on the auction house and buy your budget builds here, because there is a lot of stuff for cheap. Now, this is another thing that you should know. It's a little bit of a tip and trick for the open world farming. Let's say you don't have your barriers and all, but you want to try your best at getting some artifacts. There is actually a way that increases the artifact drops. So you've probably noticed in the game, whenever a mission starts, so the red sky starts and you have to find cover. Well, after an emission, basically for 40 to 45 minutes, the artifacts will drop more. So whenever you go out after an emission, you will of course have artifacts all over the place that you can find. Now, if you have a scanner, you'll be able to find way more than if you were to just run out and look for them. But your increased odds of finding them right after an emission is very high. The only reason you might not find some after an emission is if someone beats you to them, and usually the people that beat you to them have that little scanner and they're running around collecting every single one of them. But just know this, they are putting their lives at risk, because if another enemy faction see them, shoot them, and then loot them, they've just lost all those artifacts. So there is risk to artifact farming. So let's discuss artifacts and discuss everything you need to know about them. So they will all have different names, of course, depending on which ones you have. For example, on the screen right now we have the berry. There will of course be a base selling price, which can be affected depending on the rarity of the actual artifact. So as you see below, there is common on there. There are multiple types of artifacts and different basically rarities to them. So we have common, we also have uncommon, we also have special, then we have rare, then we have exclusive, and finally we have legendary, which is the rarest in the entire game. If you have any artifact that is legendary, there is a very highly likelihood this thing is worth a lot of money. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to equip it, use it yourself, or sell it on the auction house. Or maybe just keep it to look at, because it is quite a cool color and all, the legendary. So now that we've gone over all the rarities of the artifacts, let's start talking about the actual effects of the artifacts. So this berry artifact here has vitality plus 1.24%, radiation plus 1.2, and bleeding minus 0.57. So what does this exactly mean? Well, the bleeding just means we'll bleed less. The vitality will of course mean we get more vitality, and the radiation is plus 1.2, which means we will gain radiation. What does that mean? Well, when we have this equipped by itself, it will simply kill us over time by radiating our body and slowly killing us. So how do you counter that? Well, you need to find yourself another artifact, and I actually have one right here. The Scrubber. So as you can see, the Scrubber has a bunch of positive effects here. We have stamina regeneration plus 3.38%, healing effectiveness plus 5%, radiation minus 1.4, biological infection minus 2.36, and reaction to laceration plus 0.98%. So all we care about right now is that radiation stat. So because that is minus 1.4, and our berry here is plus 1.2, that cancels out the berry's radiation, which means all we do now is get the positives of both artifacts. Isn't that great? I hope I explained that well, because that is the basics of the artifact system. Now, the next thing we're going to be discussing is Freshness. As you can see on screen there, we have Freshness and 3 ones beside it, little tally marks. Now, the freshness can come from 3 to 2, and of course to number 1. 1 is your best, and 3 is your worst. This artifact here, for example, has a freshness of 1. So what does this mean exactly? Well, it does change a few things for the artifact. The first thing is it actually makes it more valuable selling to the fence. So if you have a freshness 1 artifact, you can sell that to the fence and gain more money back. Now, over time, the freshness will, of course, disappear. So you do want to sell artifacts if you are someone who wants to sell them to the fence and get rid of them, the useless ones. There's also times you could just sell them on the auction house, especially if they're not bind on use. So once you equip one of these, it is permanently binded to you. You can't sell it or do anything to it on the auction house. But if you haven't binded it to yourself, you can sell them on the auction house. That is how you previously saw them on the auction house, and that's what others do. Now, the other thing that freshness affects is stats as well. If you have a higher freshness, you might have higher stats on the actual, artifact itself. It's pretty good to get a freshness 1 with the higher stats. You might be wondering how that works. We'll go over it later in the video because there's a specific way that I'm talking about. Your charge is 100%. So the way the charges work in this game is as you use your artifact, it will actually decrease the charge. If it hits 0%, the artifact stops working. So you always need to go over, give it more energy. So what we'll do is we'll go over now and explain how that all works, because otherwise you're probably going to get a little confused. So we're going to go over now to the scientist, so find whoever he is, and yeah, we'll get into that. So as you can see, we are at the scientist right now, one of the best characters designed just because he has that little flask there. Look at him go. He loves that flask, picks it up all the time, wiggles it too. So yeah, let's have a little chat with him. So this is where you research stuff, of course. So if you have, for example, we have this rose here. We've done this before. Research it. Now we can use this rose. Now, the interesting thing about this is the charging part. So this is charging. This is fission. So let's have a look here. I should have some in my personal storage. Here we go. So we have a few here. So as you go through the world, you will find items like this, which will have energy. I'm just going to show you this for an example. We're also going to take some of these. These are sponges, as you can see. I have many of them, but I don't need them. So we'll take a couple sponges. You know what? We'll take a couple berries as well. And we'll go back over to the scientist here and go to fission. Now, the way this works is whenever we chuck in, let's say, for example, we don't really want these here artifacts at all. They're not really something I need, so we'll drop it in. This selected item will turn into energy. You want to click confirm. As you can see, boom, it turned into energy. We gained 200 units. Do that again. There we are. Do it again to the other ones. There we are. So as you can see, we're just converting our artifacts into energy. Now, as you go through the world, you will, of course, find these proto-artifacts. These aren't artifacts we can use. These are simply used to charge artifacts and, of course, get us energy. So let me split this in half here, just so I can show you. We're going to put it into here, transform into energy. Look at that go! So as you can see, it is transforming it into energy. And if we look at the bottom left there, it is slowly adding up as we go. Now, each one will be 500 units of energy. So back to that freshness. The higher your freshness is, so let's say we had a berry, we had a 3, a 2, and a 1. Whenever you go to convert it for energy, a berry at level 1 freshness is going to give you more energy units for this storage than one at level 3 freshness. So that's how that works there. You also do want to start building up this here part, the fission and energy storage, because once you store this out, once you get to endgame, this will always be maxed out pretty much, because you're constantly feeding it energy. And as you go throughout the game, I would just, as early as possible, start feeding it artifacts you don't need, and so forth. Now, you're probably wondering, what are we going to use this energy here for? I have over 61,000 here soon, so what are we going to use this for? Well, you might go, oh, well, you just use it for this. No. We have charging here. So as you see, move the artifact or container to the charging and overcharging window. So you're probably wondering, what the hell does that mean? Let me show you. We're going to open up my bag here. Now in my bag I have some artifacts. They have a little green bar at the bottom. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take each one out. There we go. There they are. So those are our artifacts there. And we're just going to charge them up a bit. So we're going to take our comet, go into here, go to charging, put our comet in there. And as you can see here, the artifact overcharge is only available when the artifact is fully charged or with a regent. So basically what you're going to do is just charge it. Now that we've charged it, we've got it back up to 100%. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So there is a thing called overcharging. Now this is how you actually improve your artifacts. Now, if you look back in the artifact auction house, you might have noticed some of the artifacts had plus and then a number beside it. Some had like plus 15. That's the highest you can get. The higher the plus on the artifact is, the more benefits you will get from your stats. So let's look at this one. We have the comet here, all of our stamina, movement speed, running speed, and carry weight. If we go to overcharge this, there's a 50% chance we will be successful, which means our stats will actually increase. So, you know what? Let's maybe give it a go. Another thing we can do are catalysts. Do not use this, blah, blah. This is a catalyst. Let me show you. If I equip a catalyst, it is now 100% win rate on an upgrade. But I'm not going to use those because I want to use these on better items. So with the comet here, we're going to take the risk. It's a 50-50. What's the worst that could happen? We were successful, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. We have upgraded our comet to +1. So we used our energy and we upgraded it. Two things you'll probably notice. One, the chance rate now is 16%. Yes, that's right. The chance rate is very risky now if we go to upgrade it. If we use the catalyst, it will slowly increase it up, but still it's a risk to do so. The next thing is, all of our stats have gone up. And finally, we have +1 beside our comet. Now, we could try risk it again, but I'm going to leave it there. But what I've done here is I've actually grabbed another candlelight, so I want to use this, go for the upgrades, and show you what happens when you fail. So the first thing we're going to do is take the risk. We succeeded. Once we've taken the risk, we're going to keep doing this. So there we go. And as you can see, whenever you fail, your chance of successful overcharge actually increases. The other thing that happens is, if you look at the top here, this is now at 92% charge, and our max charge is 92%. Now, there's a way to fix that. You will take proto artifacts of the same rarity, use those, and that will bump your 92% back up to 100%. Whenever you have it at 92%, it just means whenever you're out there using these, it will run out faster. You'll have to come back to the scientist and, of course, use it there. I'm just going to keep going until we hit that upgrade. There we go. We've hit level 2 on that upgrade. So as you can see, it's a lot of energy being used for the units. You're also going to have to use a lot of these proto artifacts eventually. That's why usually for the normal ones here, these ones here, I just turn them into actual energy because I'm not going to really use them on these lower levels. Same with the greens, I just turn them into energy as well. But I would say if you get blue and purple proto artifacts, just keep them and don't use them on energy. Once you get to a purple, then you can use all your blues on energy and so forth. So let's end this little part of the video. We've gone over our energy units, so you'll have to turn artifacts and proto-artifacts into energy. We then have, of course, gone over the charging and overcharging to upgrade your artifacts. We've also gone over how to return your maximum charge. So if you get it down to, for example, we had 86% there on our item. To get it back up, we would use a proto-artifact to get it back up to 100%. Charge it again. Maybe I'll do that here in the video so that way you can see it yourself. So here we are. We have our item here. We're going to go over here to my proto artifact. We're going, actually, let me see if I overcharge, right? Let's see. we'll keep going here. Ah, there we go. So as you can see, I've hit that. So what we're going to do now is just hit this with the Proto Artifact, restore, and there we are. And then we can recharge that. It's not 100 yet, but you know what I mean. Just visually so you can see it yourself. We research our artifacts here, so whenever you find a new one, you'll just plop it in like so and hit research, and now we ourselves can use this artifact. And then the other thing is this. You might have noticed the artifact that needs to be transformed. So let me show you. If I throw a sponge in there, you're probably wondering what the hell do you add in this part? Additional item. Allows you to transform an artifact. Well, let me tell you something. From my knowledge, we can only put in reset serums and changing serums. That's all we can put in there. I don't have any on me, so I can't show you, but that is all you can put in there. So it'll just change the stats and so forth of the actual artifact. But yeah, that's all you can put in there, just in case you're curious. So now we're going to go over to the armor. Now, as you can see, I have a bare exo armor here. I'm just going to scroll down, and as you can see, we have compatible backpacks, any, but compatible containers. The bare exo armor can only use an IU-2 container, which means you can only equip that type of container to this armor. If you try to equip any other container to this armor, it won't work. But if you try any of the backpacks, it will work because it can take any. So that is how that works there. That's how containers and backpacks work. So each container and backpack will either say any, or it will say compatible with. Some armors, most armors at this point in the game can just use both backpacks and containers. It used to be a lot more strict. If I remember right, I believe a lot of scientist armor could only use containers and wasn't. I don't think they were able to use backpacks. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, it was a lot more strict than it is now. So these days, most armors can use both, but some armors are still only able to use maybe one type of container or one type of backpack. So now we're going to discuss capacity. So capacity, all it means is how many artifacts can your container or bag hold. So if we look at the sports bag here, we can hold 0 out of 2 in this sports bag. If we look at our Aaron Jr. backpack, we can hold up to 4 artifacts there. Now, very early game, I always recommend the sports bag because at the end of the day, you're just going around the world, you'll find a few artifacts, maybe 2 or 3, you can chuck them in there and you're good to go. You'll get extra benefits, you'll have that extra movement speed already and a little bit of carry weight as well. Now, the backpack here, the Aaron Jr. backpack, I recommend this once you have an actual build. Now, as I said before, in the description below, I will have budget builds in there for you if you'd like to check them out. So you can click on that video, give that a watch, because once you have 4 artifacts that you can use to work together, you'll get those benefits onto this huge massive carry weight here. Especially early game, that extra carry weight means you can stay out in the world more farming your materials. So I've come over here to my KZS2U container. As you can see, this is a compact container, so you'll be looking for anyone that has armor that can hold any container or a specific armor that can hold compact container to use this. Now, inner protection is basically the effectiveness of it stopping infections from your artifact. So a lot of those negatives, this will stop that and you won't die from it. So inner protection is very important. The higher that is, which this one's 95%, is really damn good. It means you'll never have to worry about that at all. Now, effectiveness. This is a very good part. So the higher the effectiveness is, and I believe this can go up to 150%, and it can go to 100%, and it can also go under 100%. Now, if it's over 100%, it will actually make your artifacts within your bag or container stronger. So it'll give them a boost. So all the stats will be boosted up, and it's just a really good, nice little thing for you to do. Now, if the effectiveness is 100%, nothing happens to the artifacts. It's just your normal artifacts in the bag. And finally, if it's lower, so let's say it was 50%, well, what that would do is drop your artifacts and basically lower them so they're not as effective. So you do definitely want something around 100% plus. So there is one more thing about this that I should talk about. I also believe if your effectiveness is lower, it does mean that your artifacts will run out faster. So a higher effectiveness is good because your artifacts will last longer, while a lower one will not. Now, I don't know if they've changed that, but it used to be like that, so fingers crossed that's still in the game. So I've gone over everything. I hope this video really helped you out, because at the end of the day, that's all I do. I create videos to help new players out in Stalzone. I would also like to say, if it did help you, leave a like, subscribe, and leave some comments below. I will, of course, read them all. I always do, so yeah, don't worry if you don't leave a, if I don't leave a like or reply, I have probably most likely 99% read your comment. Anyways, if you did make it to the end of the video, do this for me though. Type in the comments below, if you can be bothered, Stalzone for life. And that'll at least let me know if you've watched the full video. Probably not, because you could have just skipped to the end, so I don't know. Bit tricky that, isn't it? Anyways, bye-bye.